out a lot. This is before we got signed. And we're playing at universities all throughout Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, whatever. And they said, you know, our workloads get bigger and we have to rehearse. And you either have to make a decision to go to pursue your college education or quit, join the band. Well, that was a really big moment in my life because I had to tell my dad, if I were to quit, that he had saved all his life to put one of 3 children in my family through college. So, education in the family, I'd be the first one in the family to get a college degree. And I said, geez, I can't do that to my dad, you know. So one day I'm driving down, this is all in the middle of that decision-making process. I'm driving to a job I had in downtown Detroit at a gas station. And I'm driving home from this gas station at about midnight. And of course I had classes the next day. And I hear My Generation by The Who for the first time. And I'm listening to the song saying, damn, this is pretty good, you know. And then all of a sudden the moon explodes in the end. And I just was gobsmacked, to quote Gordon Ramsay. I was just knocked, punched in the stomach. I had to pulled off the freeway and cranked it all the way up to 10. Now, come on, give me some more volume. And I was just destroyed by what Moon did. First rock and roll drummer to totally break all the molds and just play. He played his ass off. It was a massive, beautifully well-crafted solo, while Thompson's playing feedback and wide open chords. You know, you can just, you know, that's when he used to smash their shit. He used to start smashing their equipment, right? That sort of was one piece that made me lean towards the music business. I had been playing drums since I was 4 years old. I'd been playing in bars since I was 14, my brother. So I had been playing music professionally, you know, at an early age. And then one day I was at one of our band houses, the first band house, the Artist Workshop, where John Sinclair and his minions would read poetry and have jazz performances on the weekend. And I'll tell you about how we met John later. We had just bought the Jimi Hendrix album. And I smoked my first joint. And everybody else in the band was out doing something. And I was all by myself with Jimi Hendrix's first record. It's a pretty good pot, which I had never had before. And I played a broom to that record for about 4 or 5 hours. Got caught when I was playing and Rob came home. Got caught, flying away like a teenage girl on this broom. And just, I lost my mind. Manic depression and Foxy Lady, Purple Haze. Whoa, this guy was out there. So all of a sudden, there were 2 drummers that I had to fuck up. 2 drummers that I had to beat. 2 drummers that I had to jump on their butts, learn what they were doing if I'm going to play in the band. Because the band was all about, we used to call ourselves an avant rock band. And that was our reply to the Yardbirds. The Yardbirds called themselves Drava. So we call ourselves avant rock. And after that happened, a couple of days later I had made my mind up to join the band.
What about, like as a kid, you know, when you originally took up the drums, what kind of drew you to the drums and wanted to, made you wanted to be involved in music?
Well, my brother's band, my brother Pete, is 10 years older than I am exactly. And so when I was 4 years old, he had a rock and roll band. And they used to rehearse in our basement, my family home's basement. And the drummer would leave his drums there. Woo-hoo! Oh boy, watch out, Mom. He'd leave his drums down there, and I'd go down and look at them, and they're sparkly. You put the lights on, and they're sparkly, and chromy, and shiny. And you sit down behind and make this noise, you know, pat, boom, oh, shh. You know, so I started messing around with it, and I was hooked. It was beautiful. Well, I asked my brother, hey Pete, could I play your drummer's drums a little bit, you know? And he said, yeah, but don't break it. It's funny because I became the hardest playing drummer in rock and roll for about 5 years. Busting up 2 S sticks, 10 per show, There's Jimmy Marino's from the Romantics would hand them to you every time I broke one. And I used to throw these suckers right out into the Grandy's audience, busted in half, and I used to throw them like that. You know, me and my brain at the time weren't quite thinking that I might possibly could put an eye out. But the funny thing is I didn't play them very loud back then, but I was hooked. And then my brother got me a set of cheap-ass bongos when I was 5 years old for Christmas. So I had bongos for about 2 years, and then he stole my father's checkbook, and we went out and bought a crappy set of German drums that was painted, spray painted, and it just had a snare and a bass drum and one little cymbal for $69. And my brother took the heat for it, and that was my first kid. And from that point on, I listened to every kind of music that was being played, I listened to it. And I would try to imitate it, as all children do. That's the first thing you learn is how to imitate it, basically. And that's what I did.